Hello, hello, hello. Test, 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 test. All right, guys, here we are. Um, 1 second, please. I'm gonna shut down the music. There we go. All right, so are we ready? Yes, we are. I'm gonna switch over to this one, of course. So, welcome, guys. I'm gonna be your commentator tonight. My name is Phoebe Thomas, and today we will be racing in the Power Grid Racing League. It's gonna be the second stream of the season, which is gonna be, of course, around 2 out of the 10, if I'm not mistaken. So last week we had France as I forgot to change the flags behind the names. Jay Oliver is English, not Dutch. We've got Orion Lemons, who is also English, not Dutch, and then we've got Simpedal, who's Dutch, of course, and not English. So Jay Oliver won that race. We had a little bit of a last lap incident between Orion Lemons and Simpedal, which made Simpedal get a qualifying ban for not delivering footage, and got shoved down a place. So he's going to be in P3, not in P2, and that was a race in France, of course. Now today we are going to be racing around Qatar. It is going to be the Losail International Circuit. Qatar has a population of 2.7 million people. The first Grand Prix was in 2021, and I didn't have. Well, of course, Masters is a new tier, and I looked up at the results from last season, from the Champions tier, where almost everyone in this tier raced for, and they didn't race on the Qatar, unfortunately. So I just took the Legacy tier, and it seems like top of the morning to you. It's not morning here though. It's not morning. I'm in Dublin. Not probably. It's probably a saying which I'm not getting. But I mean, yeah, it's all right. So Legacy, we had Jay Tyler win that race. Now the qualifying record on this track set by who was it again? Matthew Bassett, I think it was on the King of Leagues event. It was 119.9, and the race record, well, the fastest lap during the race was 122.7 during that event. Now, track layout wise, we are looking at a. Why is that Spain? Why is it showing Spain? It's not Spain tonight, right? No, it's not Spain. Hold up. Let me fix that real quick. I think I know why I put it Spain, because it's gonna be Spain next week. All right, so there we go. The race is always a little bit chaos during the beginning, but apart from that, there is not many overtaking opportunities, so it's usually going to be down the main straight, as there is only one DRS straight here on this track. So turn 3, you've got a lot of fast corners already. Actually, the track is filled with fast corners. There's not a lot of slow corners. I think the only slow corner you'll have is in turn 6 and in turn 10, if I'm not mistaken. So coming into turn 6 right now, this is going to be the slowest corner on the track. And then, of course, in turn 10, I think that is, wait, let me calculate real quick. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, indeed, 10. But yeah, of course, I mean, so many difficult overtaking opportunities, and there are some. They're just difficult, you know. That's what's up in Qatar. But yeah, I mean, not too much to be said about this track. There hasn't been too many races yet, as it's only been there since 2021. So there's not many crazy incidents that has happened already. Tire degradation rate is high, tire overheating probability is high, fuel rate is high, everything is high. It's just such a difficult track. And luckily these guys are not racing in the weather itself, because last week, I think it was last week or the week before, they were racing in Qatar. They were very, very dizzy. They were passing out in the car. I'm referring to Stroll there. So yeah, it's not a nice environment to like race in and all that kind of stuff. So short qualifying, 50% race tonight, 5.4 track distance, and a 157 race distance. Let's go straight to the strategy. Safety car probability is not that high. There's, well, the borders are quite far away from where the track is. I mean, if you spin out, I think you've got a lot of runaway room to avoid getting into the wall. So I don't think you're gonna see many safety cars here. Medium hards, hard mediums, medium soft, and soft medium medium. I don't think going from soft to mediums or like hard to softs will work out because there's a high tire degradation rate. There's a high tire overheating probability. So it's gonna be very hard here. I'm just gonna have a quick look here as we are readying up. It seems like yes, indeed it is. Did I press triangle though? Did I get put in a car? I'm not 100% sure. It shouldn't. No, yeah. No, I didn't. Don't worry. All right, so I'm just going to wait till I can see who is going to be racing. We've got 17 people, a couple of familiar names, Orion Lemons. We've got two Orions. Oh, that's going to be very difficult. Stiggy, Simpendal, Fawas, Lionator, Mentronzik, Jay Tyler, Mali, all those guys are quite familiar. Fawas, America, Dubblies, but he hasn't raced too many races last season. Then all the other guys are quite new. I think I can't really remember their names. Kimi Cubiano, I think we mentioned a couple of times during the last stream. So that is going to be for the grid, of course. No, Waza, you're not in this stream. Your commentator is either going to be Mick or it's going to be Fear Rapture. So make sure to check their channels out. But prediction wise, I think it's going to be, it's going to be the same guys all over again. I think it's going to be Orion Lemons, Simpendal. Oh, Che Oliver isn't here, so that is going to be something new. Welcome, Arbonepa. Thank you for following, by the way, buddy. And I'm gonna either put Lionator on there or like Stiggy. Jay Tyler is not very consistent, or and Transic is consistent but doesn't have the pace to keep up with the top 2/3 drivers. So I'm gonna put Lionator in the top 3. Race win goes to Orion Lemons. MP2 is gonna go to Simpendal. So I think Simpendal does want a redemption race here because Arbon IPA. Okay. EPA. Oh, Arbon EPA. Okay, I'll just say Arbon. But yeah, that's going to be my predictions for tonight. I don't think there's going to be a safe car, or maybe one, but there's a slight chance. Is there anything else? Biggest winner of the evening might be... Oh, someone joined. I think that was AJ. Biggest winner of the evening. I'm going to give it to Mali. Biggest loser of the evening is going to be Jay Tyler, as... I know he's not one of the... How do I say this? Nice. He's not one of the most consistent guys. So let's go straight over to the qualifying, as the guys already started their qualifying here. So I'm just going to put the Wi-Fi so I can analyze if my Wi-Fi is good or not. And that's going to be your qualifying. So we're going to be streaming the Masters tier first. And then afterwards, we're going to be streaming the Champions tier. Only the 15 last minutes, though, as this league kind of has a schedule of delaying their second race 15 more minutes so that the commentator can catch the last 15 minutes of that race. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. I quite like it. But of course, I mean, if this tier would get a safety car and the other tier wouldn't, yeah, that's already a little bit sketchy then, because I won't be able to cover anything of that second race then. But I mean, there's a couple of guys on a fast lap already, as we're currently on board with Orion, as he's coming around the last corner. Last corner on this track is going to be either turns 15 or 16. I can't quite remember the corner name. Turn 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It is 16. So Orion is now coming across the line with a 121.1, which is not too bad of a lap. We might want to go on board with Intronsic here as he's entering Sector 2. The McLaren driver doing a pretty good job these last couple of races. Also in Season 6, he's done a pretty good job. He's got his teammate a couple of seconds in front of him. I don't think he's going to get a tow, though. And then, of course, we've got a Red Bull going pretty slow in Sector 3. He needs to watch out for that fast incoming Jay Tyler, who is right behind him. And we've got Lionator with another fastest lap, a 121.1, as he's going to be taking pole for now. Nicholas Mayer just came across the line to put a 121.8. And here comes Antrazik in P9. He hasn't put a time in yet, but he's going to come across the line right now. What is his time going to be? It's going to be a 121.4. So these guys definitely have a little bit more time in their cars or in their wheels, in their controllers. Because a 121 compared to a 119 is quite a big of a difference. So they really need to push a little bit more. But of course, it's still the first lap of disqualifying. Still 13 more minutes to go. And afterwards, we will have a 50% race. Orion Lemons now coming around turn 16 as the Alpine driver had a pretty decent race. I think he's got 42 points in the Drivers' Championship as he now puts a 121.9, which is not the best lap he could have done. We might want to go on board with Arbon, as Arbon is one of the newer guys. I don't think he has ever raced in this league yet, as the AlphaTauri driver right now coming around turn 15, which is a full throttle turn. He needs to watch out for the Ferrari, but he is coming into the pits, so it doesn't really matter too much. Coming around turn 16 he goes. A lot of curb on the exit to carry more speed down the main straight. Of course, there's only one main straight here in on this track, and he puts a 121.0, which is going to be the only 121.0 here in this qualifying session. Now let's go on board with AJ, as the Red Bull driver has to watch out for that Mercedes driver who's going to go for another lap after this one. AJ now coming across the line, and he puts 121.1. So the track, like the gaps between the drivers are really close. You can see Arbon all the way in P1 to AJ in P4 is only a 10th difference. So between four drivers you've got a 10th difference, which is not bad at all if you think about it. Now let's go to the back of the grid, as there's a couple of guys. All right, Simpadal, I put him in P2, but he is of course in P17. But we know for a fact that he's a big comeback racer. Back in the season ender last season, he spun out. I don't know what he did there. I kind of forgot about it. But he came back all the way from the last place to win that race. Well, he had the luck of a safety car or two. But right now, I mean, he's gonna be having such a hard challenge battling through this field, because I mean, these guys, this is the fastest tier of this league, and these guys are all so close to each other pace wise. You know, in France the top three did have quite a big of a lead to the other guys, so maybe Simpendal can benefit, well, can bring that pace from France back to Qatar, but I guess that we will have to wait and see. I mean, you know, Simpendal, he's a fast driver, he's got that pace, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be enough today, because also Qatar a very difficult track to overtake on, of course. Now Mali and Dublis both have come out of the pits, as it is going to be Mali now into sector 3, as of course the Swedish driver, I think he has participated in King of Leagues, the event I had a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I mean, he didn't do pretty well. I think he crashed out if I'm not mistaken, as he's now coming down the main straight, down at the finish line to start his qualifying lap here. So we might want to go on board with the Swedish driver in the Alfa Romeo, of course. Alfa Romeo, my favorite team out of them all, as he's now entering turn 2 and turn 3. A lot of curb on the exit, and he does take that beautifully. A lot of curb on the entry too. Takes a tight line through turn 4. He's now coming into turn 5. This is actually turn 5, and you could do that corner full throttle. You need to have the perfect setup. What I usually do on this track is a 50-50 setup. Just full wings, a lot of high wings, you know, it's you can gain more speed having high wings than having low wings. You're just going to be fast down the main straight, but there is only one main straight here. So yeah, that is something to think about. But Mali now coming into sector 3. Turn 12, this is, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed he is. Full throttle. These 3 corners to the right, actually full throttle like we talked about it on the King of League stream. But I mean, Mali is doing this perfectly. I think he's gonna get in the 120s. as it is definitely looking great for the Alfa Romeo driver. Now coming around the last corner, Orion puts himself in P1 with a 120.7 for now. But is Mali going to be able to beat that? He is not. It's going to be a 121.0, only 300ths away from Arbon's time. And then, of course, we've got Lionator in P4. So the track still needs to heat up a little bit here, it seems like, as the guys are not putting their best laps on the board. Doublies is going to be the only guy, well, apart from Kimi Cubiano, who hasn't set a lap in yet, and then of course Simpendal, but he is not allowed to do so. Doublies puts himself in P3. The Williams driver is going to put a 121.0, only 1,000ths away from Mali's time, so that is definitely going to give a great battle during that race. But of course, I mean, the guys could run different setups. One could use a qualifying setup, the other one could use a race setup. So I guess we will have to wait and see who is going to be the faster driver out of those two. Now Fawask now in P16. We've seen he had some ups and downs in season 6, but I do think he's gonna have a step up here in season 7. I mean, I think he's in the top 10 if I'm not mistaken. I think he's either top 10 or top 5, but I do think he's in the top 10. As the Alfa Romeo driver, I mean, the Alfa Romeo team is not in the top 5 in the constructors, so they definitely have to step up here. But I'm not 100% sure if that was Mali's fault or Fawas's fault, or maybe both fault. You know, you can have a team which just simply doesn't perform during a race, and then of course you're going to be trailing the whole season, because this league gives the winner 50 points. So if you're not going to be in the top 10, you're going to be trailing by a lot of points, and just you don't want to lose too many points those first few races, because then it's going to be harder and harder the deeper you go into the season. Now Fawas with a 122.1, he's going to be one of the 2 drivers who have not put a 121 or a 120 on this circuit. But let's have a quick look if he improved during this qualifying lap. It seems like he did, though. It's going to be a 121, but what kind of a 121.7, which will put him in P11 actually. We might want to put our lap data on to compare the different times they are putting. David was improving by 3/10, but unfortunately invalidated, probably in that first sector or maybe in the last corner of this track coming into this fast lap. Kimi Cubiano, he has a pretty interesting strategy here. Currently in P18. I would say he is a pretty looks competitive here. Yes, indeed it does. A lot of close times. Nicolas, Arbon, Mali, Doublies, Lionator, all pretty close to each other, also Intrinsic and AJ. So it's going to be a very great race. And of course, we don't have our alien Jay Oliver. We've got Simpedal all the way in P17, so he's going to have a big comeback race. But the guy to look forward to right now is Kimi Cubiano, as he is the only one who hasn't put a qualifying lap in yet, coming around these fast right-handers right now. And you know, you have to keep in mind that, you know, Kimi Cubiano, he's, oh man, what is my Wi-Fi? Apologies for the Wi-Fi, guys. I tried to fix it, but it seems like it's lagging still. So I'm not 100% sure if it's worth doing comms. I'm gonna try my best, but yeah, if it's gonna keep on continuing like this, I don't think it's gonna be worth it. So Kimi Cubiano right now is on a fast lap, as the Alpine driver is on those soft tires, though. It's going to be one of the most important things to do during a qualifying session. So you don't want to go onto the mediums or the hards. As he's now coming around the last corner, turn 15 that is. Actually, the last corner is going to be turn 16. And around the last corner, what is this time going to be for Kimi Cubiano? It is going to be a 123. That is not a great lap from the Alpine driver. And he only has one more chance to come into the pits, come out again, and put one more fast lap in. Welcome, Matthew. Glad you're here, buddy. Hope you're having a fine evening tonight. Orion Lemons. Orion, the other Orion, is still in P1 with a 120.7. Nicholas in P2, and we've got Sticky putting himself in the top 3. He helped me after thinking ill of me last time. What's the strategy here? Oh yeah, I can, buddy. Okay, hold up. Let me put the strategy on screen real quick. So safety car probability is quite low, tire degradation rate is quite high, so is the tire overheating probability. So either medium hards, hard mediums, medium medium soft to cover 2 safety cars, or soft medium medium to cover 2 safety cars. I wouldn't go for that last one. Would either go for medium hards, hard mediums, medium medium soft if you really think there's going to be 2 safety cars, but otherwise I would just go medium hards. I don't think it's worth it to go for a double stop, because it's like a very low chance there is going to be 2 safety cars. I even predicted there was going to be none. So I wouldn't go for that one. Maybe go for a hard mediums. That could be good. That could be good. So I'm just going to get my... Oh no, it's gone. Where's my stats? Here it is. No worries, no worries. So there's a couple of guys on the night lap right now. We might want to focus on that. Who do we want to focus on though? Orion Lemons definitely. Only in P15 right now is the Alpine driver. You know, a 120.9 is not a great lap at all. If you saw what he did in King of Leagues, and you compare that with what he's doing now, he's not feeling comfortable. I can tell you that. He's right behind the Aston Martin driver, also right behind the Ferrari driver. And Orion Lemons, it's lagging again. Very great, very great. So Orion Lemons right now, I mean, he's a fast driver. He got a P2 last week in France. He got a couple of race wins in Season 6. So I do expect a lot of great things from him. As he's now coming out around the last corner. Thank you very much for the follow, Press. Appreciate it, buddy. Coming around the last corner, he goes turn 16, that is, and to start his fast lap. So he's the one to look out for. And then, of course, once he has come across the line, we can focus on someone else. Coming into turn 1, he goes, takes a lot of curb on the exit. Yes, on the outside, yes, indeed, he does. Doesn't take too much curb on the entry there. And that is going to be a lot of curb on the entry. Also on the exit, takes that track limit to perfection. I would say it was an invalidation, but the game says it wasn't. Same as this one. As he goes full throttle through that corner. Beautiful drive there from the Alpine driver. 3.8 tenths down on his time. Well, oh, by the way, welcome, Elias. I kind of forgot to reply to your message. It's all going pretty well here. I'm quite tired from working. But yeah, it's only my 2nd day, so... Oh, he invalidates. No way. Does he have enough time, though? Does he have enough time to come across the line again? Oh, no, he doesn't. That is going to be a P15. That must be so frustrating. So let's focus on someone else right now. We might want to go on board with Lionator. Only a 121.1. He is improving by 1/10 coming into Sector 2. So, no problem, mate. We will get used to it. Yeah, I will get used to it, you know. Lionator right now in Sector 2. He's going pretty fast, though. It takes a lot of curb on the entry. As the Ferrari driver, he has been pretty impressive these last couple of races, too. Had an incident with Jay Tyler back in Belgium, if I'm not mistaken. And our bomb takes the pole right now. It's going to be both Alpha Tauris in P1 and P2. Lionator, he might make it difficult for the top 2. Dublees with a 120.5 right now, the Williams driver. You can definitely see the track is getting hotter and hotter each time around. Lionator right now coming down the straight. It's going to be a 120.6, as that will be a P2 for the German driver. What is Sticky going to be able to do? He invalidated his lap. What is Jay Tyler going to do? Was improving 2/10. So is that going to be enough to put him anywhere near Lionator? It is not. It is going to be an improvement, but not by too much. P5 for Jay Tyler, and the pole goes to Dublees. Congratulations to the Williams driver, and hopefully he is going to keep it clean on track. Not saying that he's not clean or anything, but I mean, of course, if you put yourself on pole, you always want to win this race. So Dublees in P1, Lionator in P2, and Arbon in P3. Further, we've got Orion, Jay Tyler, Mali, and Niklas Stiggy. So pigs do fly. And Transic, AJ Verklempt, Amelika, David Afawas, Orion Lemmens, who was on medium tires, Kimi Cubiano, and Simpedal all the way in P18. So congratulations to all the guys who have made it across the line. And I'm just going to have a little bit of a break here, guys, so we will be right back with you. Alright guys, so we are currently in the pit lane. I'm just gonna have a quick look with the stream to see if the quality is alright, if it's all fine, if it's all good. And then we will be going underway again. So it does seem like the qualifying is pretty fine. I'm just gonna compare it to the race I had yesterday. Let's see. Why is that looking so fancy? Why is that looking so fancy? Hold up. Oh no, never mind. I thought the title of the stream was looking fancy, but it wasn't. Alright, so here we are. It seems like the Wi-Fi is stable for now. But that's only for now, because you never know when Wi-Fi is good. Oh man, I was just gonna take a drink. Alright, here we go. It's gonna be 5 red lights in Qatar with a Dublees on pole. Niklas right behind him. Lionator actually right behind him. Niklas is only in P4. It's gonna be lights out, and away we go. We've got Arbon with a pretty good start. And Jay Tyler is going around the outside of Orion. And there he goes, although it's pretty close fighting, but no touching, which is always good during that first lap. And there goes the AlphaTauri driver. It is going to be Arbon, who dropped back all the way from P3 to P17 right now. Orion Lemmens in P13. What happened here with Arbon, Verklempt, Amelika? It seems like both teammates crashed into each other. Orion and Niklas were having a battle right now. Pretty heated battle. Niklas around the outside, but the backside of the move. And it is going to be Simpedal already in P11. What a great job from the Red Bull driver already, as he's now going around the outside of David. Let's go on board with the Red Bull driver right now, as we might want to have a closer look to the other guys ahead. And Transic in P10, struggling to go around this track without clipping any curbs or anything. So there goes the Red Bull driver, and he's not going to make that move though. He's going to back out of it, but it is of course very dangerous to make that move. And there, Niklas in P6 right now on the tail of Orion. And let's have a quick look with the strategies here. A lot of medium and hard tires for these guys. And the top two have gone on to medium. So Jay Tyler on those hard tires started in P5, currently in P3. Had a big start here, as it is going to be Orion on the tail of Mali. Is going down the inside with the use of Slipstream, and he makes that move done. He goes down the inside. And he makes that move stake. Beautifully done from Orion, but maybe Mali can make the switchback work. He's not going to, has the outside line, but backs out of the move. Beautifully done from Orion there. And his next target is going to be Jay Tyler in P3. Let's go on board with AJ right now, the Red Bull driver in P8. He's also on hard tires, so he's going to have the benefit of the tires at the end of the race compared to Mali, Lionator, and Dublis. And then, of course, we've got So Pigs Do Fly, as he has a little bit of a snap coming into that corner. It was going to be turn 6, so a very tricky corner, as it is going to be the slowest corner off the track here. And Transic is getting chased from behind by Simpendal, as I'm not 100% sure if Simpendal is going to get past him easily. And because, you know, Intransic, he's one of the more consistent guys on this track. He doesn't always have the pace, but he's just so consistent. He doesn't make mistakes, and that is one of the biggest positive things I can say about the McLaren driver right now. Orion already with a 3-second time penalty, and that is something we're going to be seeing a lot of times here in this race. We're going to be seeing so many people with a penalty and all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna disable my camera real quick, guys. There we go. So Orion has made that move on David. He already had a pretty good start here too. He's right behind his buddy Simpendal, who he had an incident with in, I think it was France last week. And let's go on board with Jay Tyler here on the tail of Orion Lemons. Not Orion Lemons. It's so difficult that there is 2 Orions here, so I need to keep that in mind. But Orion, who already has a 3-second time penalty. So, oh, Mali trying to make a quick peek there down the inside. It wasn't probably the best corner to do in. But I do have to say, Mali, he's a controlled driver. I mean, he knows where to overtake. He knows when to go for it. But he is getting chased from behind. Nicholas on those hard tires seems to have the pace here around Qatar on these hards, and it's quite weird that the hard tire drivers are keeping up with the medium tire drivers. Mainly because you've got so much dirty air around this track. You don't have a lot of grip on the tires, and you know, it's quite funny. And as I'm talking about the hards compared to the mediums, it seems like the mediums compared to each other, MP1 and MP2, are definitely not similar. As Lionator currently in P2, he's about 1 second down, 1 second up on W's time. Simpedal, who's now made that move on Intransic down the main straight. No, don't worry, Nick. It's just for a couple of minutes. So Stiggy right now in P8, as the Mercedes driver is right behind AJ. Is he going to be able to make that move? Oh! Touches the Red Bull driver. He needs to watch out there, though. Stiggy, he dropped back all the way from I don't know where he qualified, actually. Let me have a quick look. He qualified in P8, so he didn't have a lot of position changes yet, as Simpedal now overtakes the Haas driver. Beautiful move there from Simpedal, as So Pigs Do Fly is getting chased from behind by Intransic. As Intransic, of course, I mean, not the guy who's gonna you're putting makeup on to look pretty. Nobody, that's not the case. I'm gonna switch it back for you guys. There we go. All right, so what was I saying again? Sorry. Nick is making me distracted. So Simpedal right now in P9 is right behind Stiggy, and these two are quite familiar with each other. You know, they have been battling that last race in Abu Dhabi in season 6. They were battling for that championship, and Simpedal made it on top. He is the reigning champion of the Champions tier. Actually, this is going to be the Masters tier, the new tier, of course. Simpedal is now getting past Stiggy, as AJ. That was a snappy rear there from the Red Bull driver. Stiggy trying to get back to Simpedal. He's right on the tail, but it's not going to be worth an opportunity here to make that move down the inside. He's taking a wide line there. Might have been a bit awkward. Might have had understeer. But it's not going to be worth the overtake for the Mercedes driver. He has to wait down the main straight, because otherwise there won't be an opportunity for Stiggy anymore. He lost 1 position. Simpedal gained a 10 position. So he's definitely that kind of guy that qualifies really, really bad, or like has a qualifying ban or anything, and gets back to the front of the pack to win that race or even get a P3. Now, Lionator, he is in P2 right now, trying to get back to Dublis. And if I remember quite well, Dublis hasn't had a race win in this league yet. So is the Williams driver going to be able to do that today? it is definitely looking like it. 24 laps to go here in this race, as we're currently in lap 5 out of the 29 in Qatar. But one thing you have to keep in mind here in Qatar is that I am cooking for pole. Oh, other league. No, this is the same league, I think. Oh, there goes my Wi-Fi again. Okay, it's all good again. Sorry for the... No, Legacy, it's this league. You are champions, right? Yeah, you are champions. I'm gonna be doing champions later, so make sure to stick in the stream. Yeah, this is Power Grid. Right? You are in Power Grid, right? Yeah, you are. I'm always doing Power Grid on Tuesdays. So Simpedal, not too sure what happened there, but he's 2.1 seconds behind Mali. Not too sure if he's either catching up or losing time. I didn't take a good look at that, as it seems like Orion is trying to get past Intronsic, and he is indeed around the outside. Intronsic with the heavy battling, as he's not leaving too much space for the Alpine driver, as he lets him go past through this fast section of the track. Now into turn 11 they go. Entering Sector 3, it doesn't look like Intronsic is going to battle back, so he's just going to wait and get those couple of points that he kind of deserves. He deserves them, you know, he deserves them. This is a very competitive grid, it's a very competitive league and all that kind of stuff. Stiggy right now with a 3-second time penalty, though. A lot of guys with a penalty already. Let's have a quick look at that. Penalty-wise, 3 seconds for Orion, 3 seconds for Stiggy, 3 seconds so pigs do fly, and 9 seconds already for Fawaz, as he's all the way in P18. Let's have a quick look with Intronsic here, as he's on the tail of Orion Lemons, but it's not going to be enough for the McLaren driver, as he's not going to be able to make that move there into turn 1 with the use of DRS. So these guys will have DRS down the main straight. It's a very long straight, so you will have the opportunity to make that move before the corner is there. So let's go on board with the Ferrari driver right now, as he's right on the tail of Jay Tyler. Nicholas, he is a new driver to this league, but I do have to say he is really fast. Oh wait, Nicholas, that's not you, right? No, it's not you. 3 tenths for the Ferrari driver, 2 tenths right now on the tail of Jay Tyler, and I do have to say Jay Tyler on these hard tires, he has done a great job, but Nicholas is also on hard tires, and the top 2 is currently on medium tires. But one thing to keep in mind, if they're currently on medium tires, that means they have to switch onto the hard tires at the end of the race, and they are a little bit slower, so maybe these guys on the hards right now have a little bit more pace in their tires. AJ with a 3-second time penalty, as Nicholas is trying to get closer to the McLaren driver. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. Now down the main straight, he will have DRS, but so will Jay Tyler, and I think the guy who is going to be... Oh, Nicholas has a lot of straight line speed. Look at that. He's able to get closer to Jay Tyler and even make that move down the inside. There goes the Ferrari driver, and that is a beautiful move from Nicholas Meyer. But Jay Tyler is trying to get back. Around the outside he goes, but there is no room for the McLaren driver. So it is going to be Nicholas gaining 3 positions here already during this race. And now making up 1 to Jay Tyler, as he is all the way in P5. I mean, all the way. It's not too far away. But P5 is definitely worse than a P4, of course. Now let's have a quick look with Intronsic here. He's still trying to get close to Orion Lemons. Well, he is still pretty close. 3 tenths, 4 tenths every now and then. But I don't think he has the pace to make that move. You know, he's able to stick to the toe with the use of Slipstream, with the use of DRS. But I don't think it's going to be enough for the McLaren driver. Maybe if he can... appear some kind of trick out of his magic hat, but I don't think that's going to be the case for now. You just have to keep it clean, keep it cool, and all that kind of stuff, and then everything will be great. Now let's go on board with Stiggy, as he already has that penalty, but so does AJ, and so do Pig. So does Pig. Oh my days, Pigs do fly. I'm just gonna call him Pigs do fly. And I mean, battling with guys that have penalties is always, well, if you have a penalty yourself, it's always better to battle with guys that also have penalties, because otherwise you're basically battling for nothing. As we are talking about penalties, Orion, who does have a penalty, as you can see, Nicholas is now battling with a guy who has a penalty, and basically this isn't the fight he should be making, because he's going to get that position anyway, but he's losing time to Lionator and Doublies, As for Klimt is now making a move on Arbon. Both guys pretty close to each other, but are far away from these guys. As for Klimt is now... Ooh, this is really, really close racing. Arbon, who dropped from P3 to P15 now. I think he even got dropped to P17 or P18. He made a little bit of a comeback. I would say 2 positions or 3 positions. But I don't think he has enough pace to get back to the top 12. As he is having a little bit of a snap there coming around turn 6. As we do see a lot of guys having a little bit of a snap there coming through that corner. And Niklas is seeing that the guy ahead of him has got another 3-second time penalty. So that's 6 seconds in total already, which is definitely not great for the AlphaTauri driver. He will be dropping back all the way to P7, if I'm not mistaken. And all these guys will have DRS on him, so it's not a great story for the AlphaTauri driver as he's trying to close down that gap to Lineator. Doesn't seem like he's able to do so, even by getting track warnings and track penalties. I mean, track limit penalties. As it is going to be Niklas now down the inside. There he goes. Beautiful move there, but Orion is trying to get back, and he does indeed. Beautiful move there from Orion. As Niklas is going to be frustrated by that. Doesn't want to take too many risks, because the more risks you take, the more chance there is of crashing out, of course. Now AJ in P9 right behind Stiggy. Both drivers having a penalty right now, and Orion Lemmens is somewhere in between the penalty group. He's the only one out of those 4 who doesn't have a penalty. There goes the Mercedes driver having a little bit of a snap there. Wasn't really... I think he went onto the throttle a little bit too fast, and you know what I always say, it is the same story for example, a rain race. You need to control your throttle input really, really bad on tracks like Saudi Arabia and Qatar. So I think these guys need to watch out for how they take their throttle, how they take the corner, how they put the throttle when going into a corner. And of course, I mean, it's such a hard thing to do here in Qatar, you know, keep your concentration for 29 laps. There's still 19 more to come, as we're already halfway past the stream. But it seems like AJ is going to be able to make that move on Stiggy. Although he doesn't have the straight line speed, he does have the DRS though, but it's not going to be enough possibly. It is indeed. He's going to throw it down the inside into turn 1. That is moved on by the Red Bull driver. But Stiggy fights back. Stiggy fights back onto the curb, and he's going to put himself right behind the Red Bull driver. There was no room to make that move again, to make that comeback move, you know, that payback move, that switchback. So he's going to be in P9 right now. Both drivers having a penalty, and Orion Lemmens is just stuck in between those guys. He's getting chased from behind by a Pigs Do Fly. He's not able to get past Stiggy. He's not able to get past AJ. And in the meanwhile, Simpendal is just able to get away from these guys. Doesn't have a single penalty, so he's gonna be coming from P17, no, P18 actually, to P6, as Orion is of course gonna drop 1 position. No, not 1 position, but like Simpendal is gonna gain 1 position because Orion is gonna drop 1. And let's go on board with Orion again. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water, as I don't think these guys will make a move anytime soon. Maybe down the main straight. So I want to have that drink before the move is there, of course. Alright, around the last corner they come. There goes Stiggy, as he's got Orion Lemmens right on his tail, and that is indeed going to be a move. Orion Lemmens, maybe 2 guys in 1. Yes, indeed, he does. And it is going to be a big question. Who is going to come out on top out of these 2? It is going to be AJ. So Stiggy dropped back all the way to P10, with Orion Lemmens gaining 2 positions in 1 straight. Now let's go on board with Niklas, as it seems like he was trying to get past Orion. Didn't work out. He is still trailing by a couple of tenths. And Lineator has lost the toe of the Blies, so he's not going to have the DRS. And being on the hard tires at the end of the race is going to be a difficult challenge for the German driver. Jay Tyler now with a 3-second time penalty. McLaren driver all the way in P5 is trying to get closer to Niklas and Orion, but it seems like he's struggling to keep up with their pace. You know, Jay Tyler, he's got the pace. He really has the pace. He's a combination of who is not that consistent. Who is not that consistent? Let me have a quick look. Who is not maybe Mali. Maybe Amelika. He's a combination of Amelika and Simpendal. He's got a lot of pace. Like, his pace is insane. As Nicholas now gets past Orion. So his pace is insane. He has the pace of Simpendal, but he has the consistency of Amelika. Just not great, you know. Simpendal is just a combination of himself and Stiggy. Stiggy is just... No, he's a combination of Che Oliver and Stiggy. Stiggy is just so consistent. I mean, he's in P10 right now, so I wouldn't say he has been very consistent this race as he dropped 2 positions, but can't blame him, right? With this competitive of a grid. Competition of a grid, I don't know how to say it. But Jay Tyler now in P5, he's right behind Orion Lemons. And these two have a penalty, so it's going to be a battle for a P5 if I'm not mistaken, because Mali doesn't have a single penalty. Simpendal is 2.8 seconds away from these guys, so he's not going to gain that position, I'm afraid. Oh no, Orion does have a 6-second time penalty. I kind of forgot about that. I need to blow my nose, so I'm just going to get a tissue real quick out of my pocket. So I'm going to mute the microphone real quick. I will be right back, guys. Alright guys, my apologies. I'm back. Nicholas. Wait, Orion got passed again? Oh man, Nicholas, not too sure what you're doing. W seems to have come into the pits. He went from medium tires to the hard tires. Just let's have a quick focus on the tires. Pigs Do Fly has come into the pits. So did Intronsic. So did Verklempt. So did Arbon, who is going onto the mediums quite early here. And I still wonder who is going to be underfueling here during this race. Does anyone actually underfuel in Qatar? Because then you're going to be having a very, very, very big problem. We have had one race in the Phoenix Racing League where a lot of guys had overfueled actually by 2 laps and they still did not make it until the finish line. I mean, they did, but they lost 10 positions. So overfueling is really something you need to keep in the back of your mind coming into a race like Qatar. I think in Australia it's the same problem. Maybe Saudi Arabia, I'm not 100% sure. So we might want to go on board with Pigs Do Fly, as he does have a penalty, so it's not too big of a battle here, as you do know who's going to get that position. But I mean, it's still great to see some guys battling at the back of the grid. Stiggy now makes that move on AJ. AJ is going to come into the pits, and Nicholas makes that move on Orion down the main straight. So these two are going to be battling with each other for a long time. Well, they have been battling with each other for a long time already, and there's many more laps to come. 14 more, as Orion has some good traction coming through that corner, but doesn't have the straight line speed to make that overtake on Nicholas. Takes a track limit there, so that might be another one, as he needs to watch out for that for those penalties. He's got 6 already, and he's gonna lose a lot of positions doing that. Simpendal, who seems to be struggling right now to keep up with the toe of Mali. 3 seconds right now. He dropped a couple of tenths to the Swedish driver, so Big Do Fly got past Intronsic, it seems like, and now they're trying to get past AJ, who seems to be all the way in P12 with a penalty. So this Pigs Do Fly is going to be able to make that overtake work. It's going to be a hard challenge, you know. AJ just went into the pits to go on to fresh mediums, if I'm not mistaken. And the mediums, of course, are going to be faster than the hard tires right now. Orion in P3. Let's have a quick look. He's coming into the pits. He's coming into the pits, which isn't a great... I wouldn't say it's a great decision. Although, maybe. It depends. Let's say there is going to be a safety car right now. Nicholas is going to be in the benefit by a lot. Orion is not coming into the pits either. He is on old mediums, though. Nicholas just wants those mediums to be as fresh as possible at the end of the race. That's possibly why he is coming into the pits a little bit later than all the other guys do. Pigs Do Fly gets a 3-second time penalty, and as I said, a lot of guys with a penalty. Orion gets dropped back all the way to P6. He's maybe gonna lose another position. No, he is not. But he does have Jay Tyler and Molly going on to the softs. What is this strategy? AJ has left the session. No way. Molly on the softs. What a... I'm not gonna say stupid decision, but it's not a smart decision to go onto the softs with still 14 more laps to come. Yeah, it is something new. It is something we didn't think about yet. It was not in my strategy prediction, so if he pulls it off, maybe I need to consider putting it in my strategy prediction next time. But for now, I'm gonna leave it as it is. Stiggy losing the toe of Orion Lemons, so that is gonna be those... Well, actually, it doesn't make too much sense, because I was going to say that is going to be those medium tires, but actually the medium tires are going to be worse than the hard tires right now, because they're degrading a little bit sooner. So both drivers coming into the pits, and they're both running different strategies, so it's going to be a big question who's going to be the faster driver out of the two. And it's still... Oh, Lineator also going on to the softs. Is that a mistake? Is that a mistake? Good question. Very, very, very good question. Double E's right now in a P2. Oh, Fresh Hearts. Nicholas is still out. 16 lap old Hearts. He's possibly going on to the softs too. And there's a lot of guys going on to the softs. So did Orion Lemons. So did Stiggy. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, Arbon. He crashed out. No, he retired in the pit lane. Why would you do that? Arbon did retire in the pit lane. Not too sure. Usually, when guys are retiring in the pit lane and they're gonna be, it's their first league and first race in the league, they're probably gonna be leaving the league. That's what I'm saying from experience, right? Molly right now trying to make a quick sneak peek down the inside there. The room wasn't there, but it's nice to have a sniff every now and then. To see if there is an opportunity, if you can sniff an opportunity, you know. So Nicholas is now coming into the pits. Nicholas is now coming into the pits. Where is he gonna come out? Is it gonna be in the top 3? I don't think it is. I think it is gonna be P5 if I'm not mistaken, but he is going on to medium tires. So bold prediction by the German driver is it is gonna be both Ferrari drivers having a pretty decent result here already. Arbon. He looked like he was going to get a great result together with his teammate Orion. But unfortunately, that wasn't going to be the case. So where is he going to end out? He's going to be in P6. Maybe even P7 if Simpledog can get closer. He's not going to go to. So Nicholas, medium tires. 0 lap on medium tires. I'm not too sure if it's going to be enough for him to get back into the top 5. Of course, these guys have got penalties. Jay Tyler right now in P4. 2 tenths on the tail of Lineator, and it seems like these guys on the soft tires are already struggling. Like they're not able to get away from these guys on the mediums. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Orion, who is on 2 lap old mediums, is not able to get closer to double E's. Or double ass. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. I don't think tires matter that much here in Qatar. The guys are not able to get closer. They're not able to get away or anything, so Molly right now in P5 on the soft tires, so he should be able to make the top 3 if he can keep on driving like this, because Jay Tyler has a penalty, Orion has a penalty, he is running soft tires, so he should be able to make that move down the main straight anytime soon. Still 11 more laps to come. And coming around the last corner, he goes. DRS wide open, and Jay Tyler does not have the straight line speed. He simply does not have the straight line speed. He's not going to be able to defend down the main straight, so that's going to be moved on by Amali. His next target is going to be Lineator. Welcome, Thomas, in the chat. How are you doing, buddy? How are things going? 3 tenths now for Amali on the soft tires. He's taking a quick look down the inside there, but fortunately the move wasn't there. The room wasn't there either, so if both they oh my days, almost went into the back of the Ferrari driver. Took a little snap there, took a little tap, But yeah, I mean, he really has to watch out. Lionator, he's just been very lucky these last couple of races. Belgium, for example, he got pushed wide by Jay Tyler having wing damage. I don't know what was up there, but Jay Tyler did get penalized for that. I'm always gonna go back to that incident because right after that race, Lionator came into my chat. Oh, and that Jay Tyler guy, he pushed me out, blah, blah, blah. It was quite funny. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Alright, apologies guys, there was a guy knocking on my door asking for an emergency contact, so we thought he was going to be complaining about my talking, but apparently he was just asking for the emergency contact. So we're back at it again. Apologies for the little break there. I hope there hasn't been too many incidents here. Lionator seems to be in P3. Orion, did he get past Lionator? Seems like it. Although, did he get past him? Does seem like it, yeah. Jay Tyler on the tail of Molly right now. Is he going to be able to? He's not going to be able to. Onto the curb. A little bit too much there as he kind of lost traction there. But what is the McLaren driver going to be able to do? 2 tenths, 3 tenths right now. But that penalty, it's just... It's always the penalties, right? They want to get into the top 5. They want to get into the top 3. But they're simply not going to be able to with those penalties. Takes another 3-second time penalty right there. Just cut the corner too much. And yeah, the softs definitely have fallen off already. I mean, look at these mediums. They're just way faster than the softs at the moment. Although Molly is making a distance. I think things are good. Thinking of asking a girl to be my girlfriend. That would be a big step in your life, buddy. That would be great. Nicholas now in a 3-second time penalty as he is only in P7. Gets overtaken. Oh, he spun out. What a disaster for Nicholas. Not too sure what happened there. I think it must have happened when I was gone. But currently in P9, he's just having that penalty. Yeah, again, penalty. Jay Tyler makes that move down the main straight. Molly is trying to make a switch by Park. Beautiful move there from Molly. Around the outside he goes. Is he going to make it stick? He's not going to make it stick though. Jay Tyler pushing him wide. 3-second time penalty for Molly as he cuts the corner again. Is that going to be moved down by Molly? Yes, indeed it is. No, it is not. Jay Tyler takes P4 for now. But what are the penalties looking like? 6 seconds for Jay Tyler, 3 seconds for Molly. So Molly just has to keep it on track, has to keep it clean. But not battle too much with Jay Tyler because then he's going to lose that position to Simpendal. So it's either a P4... Well, actually, he might get a P3. Depends on if he gets any closer to Orion in P2. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see for that result, of course. Now, third position for Lionator, the German guy. You know, he had a P4 last week, and I do think he's one of the more consistent guys. So getting a P3 here tonight, he's just going to get that consistently. P3s, P2s, P1s, P4s, P5s. I think he's going to finish every race in the top 5, if I'm being honest. If he's not getting spun out, actually. He just has the pace on every track. That's just the thing about Lionator. He practices a little bit, but I mean, I think it's just talent too. Maliu's trying to make that move down the inside. It's not going to work there. Ooh, Sticky makes that move on Niklas. Niklas is really struggling here. I mean, you know, if you're racing in the top 3, I don't actually remember where he was. Oh yeah, he dropped back because he had a bad strategy. He's on the soft tires too. He is on the soft... No, he's on the mediums. Why is he dropping back that much? Huh. Really interesting. Well, he probably has more information on that than I do. Mali right now, soft tires. 7-lap-old softs. I don't think these softs are going to be making it until the end of the race, if I'm being honest. You know, 7-lap-old softs, they still have to go for 6 more laps. So that's 13 laps on the softs on a track like Qatar. A high-speed corner, a lot of pressure on the tires, a lot of tire degradation. And I don't think they're going to be able to make it. Of course, they're not going to get a puncture, but it will definitely be like 50, 60, 70% of soft tires, which is definitely not pleasant to race on. Orion in P7. Let's have a quick look at the position changes. 12 position changes for Simpedal. He's going to be the driver of the day again, if I'm being honest. 9 positions gained for Orion Lemons, which is not too bad either. And the biggest loser of the evening is going to be Arbon, who qualified in P3 and then of course crashed out. DNF'd in the pit lane, dropped back all the way to P18, and that is going to be a DNF. Fawa is also with a DNF. I think he crashed out, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other... Is that weer aan het kloppen? Oh. Pigs do fly, 3-second time penalty. And let's have a quick look here with Mali. As they're now entering turn 6. There's not a lot of moves going on, only down the main straight. Nicholas right now into turn 6 too, as he's right on the tail of Stiggy. Stiggy is just going to make it very, very difficult for him. Stiggy on those soft tires, so those soft tires are going to drop at the end of the race. Still 5 more laps to go after this one. But yeah, I mean, having not too many battles on track isn't really making the race very interesting, is it? Everyone is just keeping the toe, keeping it straight right behind each other, and there's not too many opportunities for overtakes here. As we've seen Stiggy really abusing that track limit there. Almost gets another penalty, but he doesn't actually. Let's calculate positions already, because right now I don't think many people would get penalties anymore. Oh, Simpedal, that was a late move. I do have to say, it was a very late move. He should have gone to the right side already instead of moving. I don't know if anyone out of those two has got a penalty, but these two have got an incident already in France. Once again, an incident here in Qatar. And these two are not going to be friends at the end of this race. They weren't friends anyway after last week's race. And it's just so iconic, you know. You're still doing Phoenix, mate. I'm not Oranje, unfortunately, no. Yeah, I cannot give you any details on that. Like, there hasn't been any issues on or something. Just pop in my DM if you want to. I cannot explain it on stream if you understand what I mean. Lionator right now 3. I always want to say 3 seconds, but he's in 3rd place. Orion with another penalty. He's gonna drop back all the way to P6, maybe P5, as he's gonna lose a position to Mali. He's gonna lose a position to Lionator. He's gonna lose one to Simpedal, maybe one to Orion Lemons. And will that be a podium position for Orion Lemons then? Lionator he's just gonna keep it clean. They're getting closer to Dublies though, so this might be a last lap battle. But as I was saying, Simpedal, Orion Lemons, during the whole season, like last season, they weren't friends either, and I don't think they're gonna be friends this season either. They're just rivals, you know. It's always with rivals. You know, you can have a healthy relationship between rivals, but having incidents each race isn't gonna isn't gonna help your relationship, of course. Mali right now, B5 for the Swedish driver, has a little bit of a snap there, takes a lot of track limits there, try to avoid getting another penalty, because that, oh, Orion Lems with another 3-second time penalty, and something that we have to admire about Simpendal, he never gets penalties. He simply never gets penalties, and he's gonna get onto the podium by not getting any penalties. It's crazy to think about the fact that he's coming all the way from P18 to P3 without getting a single penalty. His rivals are pushing till the limits and he's just cruising around. My parents are looking very, very focused on their phones and iPad now. And now she's putting a middle finger up. Very nice. 110 for Niklas as he's going down the inside with the use of DRS. That is moved on by the German driver, and he's not going to lose too many positions, as Intronsic doesn't have a single penalty too. So, ooh, pigs do fly. 18 seconds of penalties. He's going to drop back to P14. He's only going to lose one position due to that. So the question is Lionator going to be able to overtake Orion? If I were Orion, I would just let Lionator go through. There's no point in battling Lionator anyway. And, you know, Lionator, he's going to be able to get this race win if he can get past Orion, which is not going to be an easy task if he doesn't let him go through. Like, it's a circle, you know? It's like there's a word for it in Dutch. It's like a vicieuze circle, but I don't know what it is in English. I'm looking at my mom right now if she can give me any information on that. She cannot, unfortunately. So DRS wide open for Orion and Lionator. Maybe Orion is going to be able to make that move on Double. A little bit too far back, as he doesn't have a single ERS left in the tank. So he might have to wait for that last lap battle with the Williams driver. We might want to focus on Stiggy and Orion Lems right now, as he's down the main straight. Doesn't have a lot of ERS left in the tank either. And does Orion actually have a lot of... Oh, he's got plenty. He's got 50%. AJ, who had a pretty decent race halfway past the race, currently looking at a P16. A last position. Last lap for him too, because he's got... No. He's got one more lap to go. Does he? Wait. No. I thought he didn't have any fuel left anymore. All right. Last lap battle, as they're now entering sector 3. It's not the last lap yet, but we're going into the last lap, next lap, you know. It's like... Lionator right now, 310s for the Ferrari driver. Is he going to be able to get that move? 3-second time penalty for Double. Lionator just has to keep it chill now. Just has to keep it clean. And then he will be able to get that race win here in Qatar. What a performance from the German driver. And will he be able to, into the last lap, into lap 29 out of the 29 in the, well, on the Losail International Circuit. And Orion is trying to make a move down the inside. He's pushing the Williams driver a little bit wide there. Has to watch out that he doesn't put him off track, because that would be a very sour incident, if I'm being honest, you know. Ooh, a little bit of touch-a-rooney there. Lionator, don't risk it. Don't risk it. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna get that. Oh, man, Lionator. Why are you risking it, buddy? You don't have a single penalty. The other two do have penalties. Like, what is... Oh, man, he's just pushing. He's got Doubles right behind him. Maybe he's scared that Doubles is going to be able to get those 3 seconds removed, you know? And maybe Doubles thinks he's going to be able to. Maybe he does think that. Only 110 in between those two. 210s actually. Doubles now on the tail of Lionator. Is he going to be able to do so? It is not looking like it. Maybe with the use of DRS, but Lionator will have the DRS too. 9 seconds for Orion. He's going to drop a lot of positions. Amelika with the fastest lap out of this race. A 122.7. Congratulations to you. That is one extra point on the board for the Aston Martin team. But now Doubles is not able to keep up. It's those hard tires. It's simply those hard tires. The softs were too fast. The mediums were too fast. And that is going to be Lionator taking this race win. Orion gets another 3-second time penalty as he is going to get dropped back all the way to P7, P8. I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a quick look. Simpadal might be taking P3 here. Is he going to? He's going to take P4. Jay Tyler onto the podium. Mali in P5. And Orion is going to drop back all the way to P6. Nicholas in P7. Orion Lemons, that's the other Orion, is going to be in P8. Stiggy in P9. And Entransic in P10. Further, we've got Verklempt, David, Pigs Do Fly, who's going to drop back all the way to P14, if I'm not mistaken. Gets another 3-second time penalty, I think. 5-second time penalty for David. How do you get that? Probably speeding in the pit lane. And there goes Pigs Do Fly. Amelika coming around the last corner. And AJ got lapped, of course, so he's not going to be able to perform that lap 29. Pigs Do Fly has left the session already. And there goes Amelika across the line. It is going to be a P13, so that's great. Only a couple of tenths away from the Haas driver. And then Kimi Cubiano into Sector 3. As we need to wait for the results, of course. We need to wait for the results to be able to, well, show that to the owners of the league, of course. Coming down the main straight right now, as that is going to be a finish flag for the Alpine driver. And let's have a quick look here at the standings, of course. We already went through them, but we want to do it one more time. Congrats, Lionator, Gilligan says. Gilligan, yes, indeed. Congratulations to Lionator, indeed. He did a splendid job not getting a single penalty. You might want to go on board with someone else. Lionator, P1, we've got W's P2 and Jay Tyler in P3. Further, we've got Simpadal, Mali, Orion, Niklas, Orion Lemons, Stiggy, and Entransic. Finish off the top 10. Further, we've got Verklempt, David, Amelika, Kimi Cubiano, Amelika, who does have the fastest lap of 122.7, Pigs Do Fly, AJ, and Fawaz, and then of course Arbon, who got DNF'd. Well, not really got DNF'd, but he DNF'd himself. So did Fawaz, and then Pigs Do Fly is in front of Kimi Cubiano, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to all the guys who have made it across the line, and now we are switching over to the Champions Division. So we will be right back with you guys. It will take 2 minutes. Right, guys. So it doesn't look like I've got an invite to the Champions League. Well, to the Champions Division. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stream further. I thank you guys very much for watching, and we will be seeing you next week again with the Champions Division for the full race coverage. This was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator. Peace out.